most American? All right, let's get straight to it.
By the way, I was raised by a black nanny for my entire life growing up.
Yeah, lots of white people have been raised by black
I'm
nannies.
sorry.
Those are the first words that I hear. I was raised by a black nanny. Like, what are you referring to by that? I'm confused.
I'll try to pivot.
Okay, well-
I'll try to pivot.
Yeah, that did not come off.
Can I ask, like, what is everybody's family background here in America?
I'll start. My dad is actually indigenous. He's Native American, Cree Nation, and my mom is a Black American.
Black American as well. I'm born here. My parents are from Compton. I also do have indigenous heritage as well, the Houma Nation in Louisiana.
My parents are just simple blue-collar working white Americans.
My dad's from California. His dad was from Canada. His mom was from Texas.
I was born in New York, but my parents are from Korea.
I was actually born in Europe, and I've been here for 7 years, and I filed for a green card recently.
Yeah, I was born Colombia, raised there. American dad, and my mom's fully Colombian.
What do we think makes an American, or makes someone more American than other? Like, what are our opinions on that?
I think it's a choice because we're like such a melting pot of everybody. But if that makes you feel proud, then that's what you are.
I could like agree with that. I also think too though that like lineage does matter and make a difference just because there are communities in America that have been here. I think that should be taken into consideration.
That's also my personal opinion. I get that
Yeah, I
a
can
lot.
see
It's
that.
like, oh, it doesn't get much more American than you, but like I haven't served in the military. I haven't,
Right.
I've served in the Air Force for 6 years. And I don't think that makes me more American actually, because it was more of a transactional agreement. I got paid to do it.
Yeah, I agree as well. I was in the military. If you're just like a dad who wakes up or a mom who wakes up working 80 hours a week, those are real Americans right there. People are like, oh, he's military. You must like love America so much. And like, America's just a piece of dirt on the ground to me. People who contribute to their community in a meaningful way, those are the most American people to me.
Can you guys start rearranging yourself
I can get behind that. I can definitely get behind that.
as you ask questions?
I think number one for sure.
Yeah.
And I just think only because you two have
Yeah, I can
connection to
go
somewhere else.
in the end for now.
Yeah, I'll move.
She's all
Second
for
to
now. I'm at the bottom, honestly.
Well,
For sure, for so many reasons. It's kind
Why?
of weird, but I feel like I'm a human being. Like, that's
What? Nigga, the question's about being American. Nigga, we get it. You're a human being. Nigga, all y'all is human beings. Yo.
my metric. That's what I'm concerned
doesn't-
about, and I think that that's more important than being from a country.
I completely agree. I imagine a future in which you can go anywhere, participate in that community respectfully, and like be a part of it. But I do think it's important to some degree to classify things because there are a lot of wrongs that America hasn't righted yet. I think once we get to a point where we can all like kumbaya together, none of this will matter.
The fact that there's so much to talk about in terms of like what has gone wrong or who did what you're doing is you're basically trying to blame somebody. And at all times, blaming people doesn't help with the actual issue is like moving forward.
Yo, but it's less a blame. It's more of taking accountability. You see what I'm saying? Without getting too, political with it, it's just like, just generally speaking, speaking about America is more of just taking accountability. You know what I'm saying? Nothing, I feel like that's a very great and important part.
But I mean, we can't really move forward until we acknowledge what happened yesterday and we atone for it.
Why can't we just be okay and like just be?
Because now see, she's on some different timing. Because now what you're kind of telling me is, if something bad happened yesterday, right? Completely horrible thing happened yesterday. Do you want tomorrow to come and for me to treat you as if yesterday never happened? No. That's about dumbest shit you could do. You see what I'm saying? Say you're sorry. Then we can move forward. You see what I'm saying? All tomorrow is just another day. You see what I'm saying? But also another opportunity. Don't let that go over your head. You see what I'm saying? Kiddabsolute speaking that knowledge on you. Don't talk.
Good. Like we're so
We
far
have to
beyond
atone
that.
for certain things.
No, we don't. That's like that's more of like a religious thing.
Yeah,
I'll try to pivot.
Okay,
I'll try to pivot.
It's not about pointing fingers at individual people. It's pointing fingers at like a system that still has like negative effects for lots of different groups of people.
Does everybody vote that can? And did you vote since you could?
I
like
did not
ever
vote.
since you could?
I didn't vote either.
I hate politics.
But the main thing about what we fought for on any side in America were the right to do these things like vote.
But we only have two parties to pick from. I would prefer the third party, but the third party doesn't win. And if you vote for the third party, you're actually just hurting your own party. It's rigged. You do like.
It's not really. If you get involved, you can't help but.
No, she's dumb. She doesn't understand it. You see what I'm saying? She's not really understanding the whole situation, and like, nigga, no one else is getting mad. Like, everybody else is listening. You the same. You see what I'm saying?
You can change it.
I'd rather take care of my immediate community, my immediate goals, my immediate life. I'm gonna be a good citizen, a good taxpayer. That's all that I need to do.
I agree with that. I can't
Makes
vote,
sense.
but I am very politically active.
Right.
So I think that might be more impactful than like all the third of the population who didn't vote for whatever reason.
Do you guys believe that citizenship status correlates to how American you are?
I don't agree because there's a bunch of people who come here with, you have to have $1 million and they put you into like a community of like-minded or like people, and all it takes is $1 million for these people to come in, and they don't have to do anything but just pay that money.
Yes, there are people who have millions of dollars and invest into the country, but that's not the majority of the people, and there are people who are undocumented and they want to become citizens because this is the only country they've ever known, but they can't. Are they less American just because of paperwork?
I think a lot of it has to do with effort too.
I thought so. I used to believe that. I used to think that if I come here, I go to school here, I work here, I can become a citizen eventually. I had to get married because that was the easiest way for me to come here. I don't think it's a fair process. I can get a green card in a year just because I'm married an American, but other people have been here for decades and still can't get a green card, and I don't think that is fair at all.
I think we should all just go through and finish our rankings and just kind of say why, and then maybe
That would be good.
regroup.
I think I'm number one. I think I'm the most American. I am a continuation of a
Why is she pressed? Like, what are you pressed for? Do you want to be number one? Go.
long line of people
Like,
who have
come
done
on.
nothing but thrive and contribute to this country.
I mean, you don't have an America without Black and Indigenous people, just given the history and all the contribution. So I do feel like she should have been first.
Unfortunately, the thing about America is that race is just connected to everything we do. And that's why it's a mess. There are several different Americas. We do not live in the same world. I can already tell we don't live in the same
By
world.
the way, I was raised by a Black nanny for my entire life growing up.
This brother face. He's like, where the fuck that come from? You did not need, yo. That was way too left field. You definitely got some like, you one of them Americans. If you know, you know. You see what I'm saying? You one of them Americans.
Yeah, lots
nanny,
of
so
lots
you
of
had-
white people have been raised by
Well,
Black
I'm
nannies
sorry, but
over.
she raised me as my mom
Yeah.
because my mom wasn't there.
But you don't walk through life the way that I do, and I don't walk through life the way that you
I
do,
think
or that
that's
he
such
does,
a
or that she.
victim like thing to say.
I am
'cause
not a
You have
victim.
as much, but you have as
How-
much potential as I
And
do
I
at
know
birth.
that.
What
I'm
if I
not trying to
had
play the
somebody-
oppression Olympics here. I'm just trying to paint a picture so that you can understand that not everyone lives life like you. I hope she at least heard what I said, and at least maybe.
The fact that you could even sit there and say that you had a nanny, right, that raised you the entire time is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, step out of your shoes for a second, you know what I'm saying, and see how other people are living as well. You know?
It'll echo, in the future, and maybe she'll remember like this encounter.
I heard everybody's opinion and why they felt that they did deserve to be an American or didn't. We all have our views, and I think they're all going to be in the end the same, that we're humans first.
I think it's best, for the sake of this conversation, to try to focus on our individual reasons why we're American, and not so much because our ancestors did this and that.
Then why did you guys put me at the front?
Because of what you mentioned, like as far as I understood, you want to be here, and this is like where you see yourself and where you identify yourself as being.
Do you feel American?
Ooh. Yeah, it's all I know.
You're more American than I am just because you would want to stay here. I would drop my hat and leave immediately. I'll go to the back of the line. If like my girlfriend said, I want to go back to Taiwan, I'd go with her right away. Free healthcare, no mass shootings. That's already like two really good
That's
pluses
big
to me,
dubs.
so.
Big dubs.
I
Yeah.
choose America all the time, but if an alien from outer space came here and said he loved America and he didn't want to go back to space, he's an American because he takes pride in it.
I'm gonna move myself to the.
Yeah,
I'll say
I
I'm
would.
number
I would
two.
also rate
You go back
myself
clubbing?
lower. That's why.
I am like a dual
I
citizen.
don't think. I feel like the thing is that she doesn't understand is that like if you've only been in America, you know what I'm saying? If you've only been in America and have not been anywhere else outside of the U.S. of A., right? And you really don't really understand how other places operate and how some places are technically better. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like if you don't know better, obviously you're gonna stick with what you know, which makes sense. But it's just sad.
Like, I'm not just American, I'm also Colombian. That's still a huge part of what motivates me, who I am, the culture that I engage in.
I think it should come before me because if we're talking about like individual contribution, I think you've done more than I have.
Yeah.
There are guys who serve and do things and do really great things for this country, but like not everybody in the military is actively on the front lines fighting wars. Not everybody's a Delta Force special operator. I chose to not for patriotic reasons. It's like, do I go to school and get a lot of debt and not even know what I want to do with my life? Or do I take some time, think about it, and get the government to pay me my education?
Does everyone feel comfortable where they are?
Yeah,
I would say she feels very strongly.
She does.
I do.
So where would you want to place
Yeah.
yourself?
I mean,
I'm
I think
curious.
that me personally, the passion and the importance of me looking out for everybody that's an American and wants to call himself American, I think that's so valuable.
I feel like you want to say number
I-
one.
I
and
I mean,
that's
I
okay.
do, honestly. I think that is me.
Come.
If we're going by her metric of contribution, since I am a public servant, I do travel, I do first responder work, emergency management. I would say by that metric, I would be number
You
two.
help.
Yeah,
You actually
I
help
agree.
Americans. Okay.
This is your final ranking?
Yes.
You're locking it in?
Yeah, it's crazy that they only went through this metric because of Shorty at number one. Granny was not having it with anything else. She just
Okay, great. What I'm gonna have you guys do is take a mock citizenship test.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So
it's
I-
as if-
I knew it.
it's as if I knew something.
Great idea.
We got this.
You guys have all been given 20 random questions, and let's see how well you guys do.
Okay.
Okay.
How do you guys feel like you may have done?
I think
Oh,
I did
that's-
bad.
There was at least 5 questions. I was like, man, I don't know the answer to this.
In 7th, we have Abe with 11 out of 20.
oh, jeez.
We have a tie, Sydney, 11 out of 20.
A tie?
You and Abe tie.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Mr. Adler.
In 5th, we have Devin, 12 out of 20.
Sydney and I are definitely very impassioned about the way we feel about America, and we were the lowest on the totem pole, so.
In 4th, Lance, 14 out of 20.
Okay.
In 3rd, Daniel, 18 out of 20. And at a tie for 1st, we have Gabrielle and Lila with 20 out of
Oh
20.
wow.
You got all of them right? Holy Wow.
Passing
Okay.
the civics test is a 12 out of 20.
What'd you get?
11.
We failed.
12. I got
failed.
12.
We failed.
Oh, so this.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, they were only sticking to her metric.
Kind
That's
of
the only
funny
reason
that
why.
the people who had the loudest voices are the ones that are at the bottom of this whole ladder.
That tends to
Crying.
That's
happen.
fair.
Of course.
Yeah.
I will say when Lila was talking about how hard she had to contribute just to stay in this country, I think that speaks more volumes than being able to take a test.
100%.
I agree.
I was surprised by how low some of the scores were, but I also wasn't surprised that I got them all right because this is something I have to study. So
That's what I was gonna say. Like it's like I was just gonna say that test doesn't seem fair because it's just like to become American citizen, you actually have to study to like know American stuff. But like Americans themselves don't really know it like that. You see what I'm saying? So of course the people who are more recent to the country, I suppose, would most likely get the questions right because they've studied it. You see what I'm saying? Like they've actively studied it compared to the people that, you know, should have known this their entire life. But you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into that.
I don't think it's necessarily fair.
Yeah, I
It's
would think
much
that's
more
unfair.
important for them to know what's going on right now rather than knowing like random like trivia questions about history that not even American born people know. Being
Facts.
an American is not easily definable. There's gonna be always a sizable portion of the US that no matter how American you are and how hard you work to be here, they're never gonna recognize you as an American.
I believe in a future in which America is a place where everyone can live harmoniously. I think we just need to do a better job of listening to each other, being more empathetic.
Thank you guys so much. Let's cut.